Day 3 in Bhutan. Woke up early for the most exciting and most awaited destination, Tiger's Nest. Instead of decking up, for a change, I geared up and packed my batteries. Pradeep, our transport partner, picked us up, and in no time, we were at the base, ready for the trek.
It's 7:11 in the clock. Started our day 3 at around 6:30. So we are headed towards one of the most iconic places of Bhutan, one of the most famous places of Bhutan, that is Tiger's Nest. So Tiger's Nest is a hiking trail, which is approximately like say 6.5 kilometers round trip, but the elevation is quite high. I'll check the number and let you know. But yeah, and apart from that, I have my guide today. So we're gonna have this guide for the rest of our days here in Bhutan.
What you see on the screen is a structure that hosts a prayer wheel. The wheel turns by the force of water, producing a sound that is considered a prayer. There are multiple such structures aligned with each other, intensifying the prayer at each point.
We have just started. It's been 10 minutes and already I feel out of breath because the elevation is quite high. There's another travel mate with us. He's gonna hike with us, I guess. Now, I'm about Tiger Nest, right? If you must have already thought, why this name, Tiger's Nest, right? So it is said that Guru Rinpoche or Guru Padmasambhava, who came here and meditated, came here on a flying tigress. So that is why the name, the tigress, she was capable of flying and she came here along with Guru Rinpoche, is called her nest. So that's why Tiger's Nest. About the trek, it's medium difficult to difficult. So if you have done trekking before, you're gonna be okay. If you have not done trekking ever before, it's gonna be difficult. So make sure you make your mind up and then start climbing. I thankfully have walked a lot in the last 1 month because of a challenge that I was doing. So it was kind of okay for me, and I have done such treks before. But for someone who has not done it, I would seriously recommend that if you are taking this trip, slow steps, go very steady, very slowly. Don't hustle around, go in hurry burry. Yeah. Halfway to the spot. That's Tiger's Nest. 45 minutes up.
On my way up, I clicked a lot of pictures while capturing them all in my memory. Every step that I took revealed a new beauty.
Halfway when you reach Tiger's Nest, this is a place where there's a split basically. The right side goes towards the cafe, and the left goes towards the Tiger Monastery. So it's suggested that it is completely up to you. It's suggested that you complete your trek, come down, and then go to the cafe so that you don't feel tired. But if you're completely exhausted, then you definitely can go to the cafe, have a nice cup of coffee, rejuvenate yourself, restore your energies, and then get back onto your journey to Tiger's Nest. So that is why it is suggested that you start your trek early in the morning before the sun rises up, so that you can have all these views for yourself. Start your trek early in the morning, say probably by 6:30ish, like I have done, to get the most scenic views, to skip the crowd so that you don't have to navigate through the crowd, to make your way. Second, to have all the good oxygen, all the wind, all the cold breeze for yourself. So I was quite curious to know what these flags are and what is the purpose of these. So when I asked the guide, he told me that these are prayer flags. Each and every color represents an element. So the blue one represents water, the yellow represents sun, the green represents forest, and the red one represents fire, whilst the white one represents air. So prayers are written onto these flags, and the prayer is all about bringing good luck, prosperity, and the horse that you see is a symbol that these prayers will give you rapid success, rapid prosperity. The thought behind putting them here is that basically these are hung up in the mountains so that the breeze flows across these flags and carries the prayers down towards the valley where people reside, right? So that the people can inhale these prayers and exhale all the negativity. And the thought is really nice. I was very surprised. I felt very happy when I heard of this thought that the breeze is going to carry the prayers along and people are going to inhale. It sounds very beautiful, to be honest. What's surprising here is that we are above 1,000 feet here on the mountains. You can see in my background like how high we are in terms of the altitude. I still have full network. Can you imagine? Full tower network. Last leg of the trek. Now we have to descend a little. You can see the steps, well constructed, well maintained, constructed using rocks. There are handrails on the side, pretty much safe. It's 9:06 on the clock, and we started our trek at around 7:11. So we've reached the peak into us. Photography and videography in the temple is prohibited, so I could not shoot anything inside the temple. You see that crowd over there? That is what we skipped since we started early. So Guru Rinpoche came here in his fierce manifestation just to subdue the demon who is here. And apart from that, this temple was established in 7th or 8th century, but was only built in 17th century by one of the first Buddhist Tibetan king. Unfortunately, in 1998, there was a fire accident which happened here, because of which a lot of huts around the temple were burnt. Surprising thing that our guide told us is that the statue of Guru Padmasambhava, which was installed here, it was burnt. The body was completely burnt, but surprisingly, the face was intact. The face was not burnt. Right, and apparently the statue is also called as the talking Yora, or the speaking statue, because it is believed that when the statue was being brought up here, what elevation it is right now. It's around 1,600 feet. So it is said that it was difficult to carry that particular idol from the bottom, the base of the mountain, to the top. As of today, there are steps, there is pathway, but you can imagine what in 17th century, right? So it was planned to make parts of that particular idol and bring it to the top. But it is said that the idol spoke at that point in time, and it said that just leave the idol here and climb on top of the mountain, go to the temple. By the time you go to the temple, you will find me there. And that is what happened. The idol was found there. People had left the idol at the base, and surprisingly they found the idol there in the temple when they climbed up there. This is the cafe.
After finishing the trek, we headed straight to the Paro fortress, also known as Rinpung Dzong. The majestic Rinpung Dzong stood tall, a testament to Bhutanese architecture and spirituality. Its entrance is guarded by the gods of all four directions, each one symbolizing protection and balance.
So I got done with Tiger Nest's hike, and my driver said that it was commendable that I closed the entire stretch in just 5 hours. Pat on my back. So next stop is Rinpung Dzong, which is the fortress of Paro. It was built in 17th century. Fortress so the difference between fort and fortress is basically forts are structures which are solely built to fight wars, and it's just like is a smaller structure when compared to that of a fortress. Now fortress is something which is built around, or is usually built around the cities. Usually has people living in it. Today Paro fortress basically is divided into two halves. One is the administrative office, and the other part is monastery. Monastery is basically where the monks are studying. I saw a few small monks playing around. I saw a few monks studying and chanting mantras and recitings. So let's go ahead, see what and how Rinpung Dzong looks like. And like any other temples, even here you're not supposed to go inside the temples and do photography or videography. Now those holes that you see on the top and the walls, those are basically for arrows to be shot when there when there's a war happening, and if enemies come in, then you can shoot arrows through those holes. Let me just show you the palace from this very place, right? So this is the tallest part of Paro fortress, and this entire structure that you see in the between. So all of this is the palace where the king resides. Now, the interesting part here is this is the river that is flowing, the lake that is flowing, and here is a small a bridge which connects to a small shelter kind of place. Now, our guide told us that at times when travelers used to travel at night and when it used to go dark, this was the place where they could rest and reside for that night and continue their journey next day. So, it's a quite thoughtful, structure that was constructed way early in the time. An interesting part about their architecture here is all of these wooden logs are connected via an interlocking mechanism, right? And there are no nails used. There are zero number of nails which are used. Next stop is the National Museum of Bhutan. So apparently this is a 7-storied building and it will take me a lot of time is what our driver and guide have told. Let's see how much time does it take. Entry fees accordingly is like 500 rupees per person. So let's get inside and see what all have they preserved, what is their history and things like that. Again, photography and videography is not allowed inside, so I'll not be able to take you along. But stay tuned for the updates about the museum. And the rain gods have shown some blessings. From the time I've come here, it has been showering a little. So even now it's drizzling. So yeah, it's all in all good. So I'm done with the museum as well. This is the museum. It has 7 floors that you'll have to complete. Initially, this particular structure was a watchtower wherein people were commissioned and they used to be here. I mean, by people I mean the soldiers. And you will also see those similar kind of arrows, those similar kind of holes to which you could attack the enemies if you spot any. So there's a Penelope as well. Apart from that, about the museum, you'll be charged 500 rupees as the entrance fee. And the artifact, to be honest, here is very recent I felt from 16th century, from 17th century. A lot of it is even from the 20th century, right? So yeah, make your choices. If you're really into history and if you're okay with looking and seeing at antiques and artifacts from the very recent times, you definitely can come here and get a view of all of it. Yeah, stay tuned. So I'm heading to my next spot. See you there. See ya. Bye. Next stop for today, the hot stone baths. I'll show you what it is.
Pradeep, as usual, was on time to pick us up and took us to the hot stone bath place. We had already made an appointment, which isn't necessary but recommended, especially during peak tourism days. The hot stone bath is exactly as it sounds. Stones from the riverside are heated and placed in a tub of water. The heat from the stone warms the water, which is infused with Artemisia leaves for a soothing effect.
So I guess entire India is here, in the month of May in Bhutan. So I was walking, past a couple of uncles on the very first day. I overheard them speaking in Marathi. I went and spoke to them just to get an idea of things around here in Paro. Today when I was climbing Tiger's Nest, there were a bunch of people who were speaking in Kannada. They started speaking in Kannada with me. And now there was a group of Guju guys walking around talking all Gujarati that they had. I was like, when I went to Thailand it was the same. Now I come here, it is the same. I guess Indians are everywhere. We are getting richer and richer and traveling to all the places in the world. Isi baat pe kudos.
With that, we come to the end of day 3. In the next vlog, we will head to Thimphu from Paro, the capital city of Bhutan, and visit Big Buddha statue. We'll also see an unique creature I had never seen before, the Takin. Stay tuned for more.